In today's video, we're going to be making some spinach stuffed pork chops. We're going to be making them in the air fryer today. You don't have to make them in the air fryer. It's just so convenient, so easy, and that is how we're cooking them today. Alright, so to start off with these stuffed pork chops, we have a few pork chops here. I do have two that are different sizes, so I would say that this makes about 4 to 5 ounce pork chops. If you have pork chops that are a little bit bigger, it might only make 4, but you know, 4 of these are pretty small, so I would say it makes about 6 4-ounce pork chops. But let's go ahead and get right into making these. And the first thing that we are going to do is we're going to put a pocket in these pork chops to get them ready for stuffing. So here we are just going to lay them here out on the cutting board. And I just want to show you how to make the pocket because there's different ways that you can do it. You can just slice it right open, or you can just make a little pocket. I prefer to make just a little pocket on the side. So you definitely need some thicker pork chops for this. You definitely don't want to buy thin pork chops for this, otherwise it's really not going to work, or you're going to get hardly anything in there. Alright, so what I normally do is I pick the side that looks like it has the thickest area, and then I just cut it along the sides. Don't start at the edge, just like maybe like half an inch away, and then just slice it right down. I mean, there really is no wrong or right way to do this as long as you get your stuffing in there. We're going to take a paper towel and we're going to just pat them all dry. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to just take some olive oil and we're going to drizzle it all on our pork chops. And we're just going to rub it in on both sides after we pat them dry. It's just going to help the seasoning stick a little bit better to them. This is optional. This is just the way that I like to do it. But they do cook really good in the air fryer when you do it this way. I've done it without doing this, and they came out a lot more dry in the air fryer. Them all rubbed down with your oil, then go ahead and salt them as you salt as you go. I'm going to be salting them with some kosher salt, and then we can put the seasoning on. Alright, and I'm going to be using this meat seasoning. It's just a smoky meat seasoning that I make. I just make my own homemade one. It does not have any salt in it, so make sure you salt your pork chops before adding the seasoning. And once you get them salted, you can go ahead and add the seasoning. Of course, you can use any seasoning that you want. If you don't want to make the seasoning, that's totally fine. This is just the seasoning I like to use. I'll leave the recipe for this seasoning down in the description below. I don't have a video for it or anything, but I will leave a link for it because I do have it on my blog. So I'll leave a link for the seasoning down below if you're interested. It's basically just like smoked paprika, thyme, garlic powder, onion powder, some turmeric, and pepper. And like I said, I don't add salt in it because I just salt my food as I go. Alright, so here I have 8 ounces of cream cheese. So we can go ahead and start on our filling. I did go ahead and pop it in the microwave for like 30 seconds just to get it softened. As you can see, it is nice and soft. And then we're going to be adding some spinach to this. Alright, so I went ahead and chopped it up into little pieces here. Now let's go ahead and mix our spinach into our cream cheese. Alright, so now we have our spinach and our cream cheese well combined. It looks like a dip. That's how you want it to look. Now we can put the rest of our ingredients in it. Here I have salt, pepper, and garlic powder. So add that in and give it another mix. Okay, here I have 5 cloves of minced garlic. We're going to add that in, and we're going to mix that until it's well combined. Okay, now for our very last ingredient to this filling, we're going to add in some Parmesan cheese. This is about a half a cup of Parmesan cheese. You can do mozzarella, you can do Parmesan cheese, you can do a little bit of each if you want. It really doesn't matter. I just happen to have more Parmesan cheese, so I'm just gonna go with the Parmesan cheese. Alright, I totally didn't even realize I didn't salt them in the very beginning before I added the seasoning to it. So I'm just gonna add the salt real quick. Okay, so now we are ready to stuff our pork chops with the filling. Just try to get as much filling in there as you can. So I'm just gonna take like a regular kitchen spoon. I'm actually using just a small spoon. And because, you know, the pockets aren't that huge on some of these pork chops. So I just use a regular small spoon and use that to fill the pockets of the pork chops. And, you know, it's taking probably about 2 spoonfuls of those. And I'm only going to start there just to make sure I have enough filling for all the pork chops. And then whatever's left, I'll fill, you know, add a little bit more in. And then this part here is optional, but I definitely recommend it. Just go ahead and put toothpicks in on each side just to try to help keep the filling in a little bit better. And that will help your filling from not oozing out as much. Alright, now we are ready to pop them in the air fryer. You know, if you're not using an air fryer, you can definitely put them in the oven, or you can pan fry them. Alright, so we went ahead and flipped our pork chops halfway in between, and this one here is done. And it's good. Nice and filled with this cream cheese spinach filling. And the outside is nice and crusted, even in the air fryer. Look at that. Doesn't that look good? And the pork chops came out moist. Let me go ahead and take these toothpicks out so you can get a better look. Alright, let me show you what these look like though. Look at that. You see that stuff just oozing out? Doesn't it look good? Cream cheese. If you like spinach stuffed anything, spinach dip, you're going to love these pork chops. Alright, let me cut it open just so we can see what it looks like on the inside. Alright, there you go. Let's give it a try. Oh my god. If you love the garlic flavor, you're definitely going to love this. If you don't love garlic, then put in a little bit less garlic than this recipe calls for. But these are delicious. These are very easy to do. If you love air fryer recipes, leave a comment down below. If you enjoyed this recipe, please make sure you give it a thumbs up, and I will see you on the next video.